All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers recently picked up what I think is the steal of the third round of the NFL draft. That's running back Caleb Johnson, round 3, pick 19 from the University of Iowa. Caleb Johnson, for anyone who's not familiar with Big Ten football, was basically this forgotten superstar. Everyone was talking about Ashton Jeanty over at Boise State, and for good reason. But you look at anyone and listen to anyone who was following that conference, the Big Ten last year, they said, listen, this guy, Caleb Johnson, he's as good as the Boise State guy, maybe even better in some ways. For a lot of reasons, he fell, of course, into the third round, but the Steelers got incredible value. No matter who you look at, which direction you go, most people had Johnson featured in terms of their big board rankings early part of the second round to the later part of the second round. Again, from the high 40s, mid 40s to the mid to low 60s. Okay. And of course, the Steelers are getting them in the back half of the third round. Incredible value. This is a great player. It was a position of need, of course, with Najee Harris gone to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Steelers got themselves a really good football player in Caleb Johnson. Let's go ahead and pull up his profile, courtesy of NFL.com, just so everyone's aware of what Johnson brings to the table. You can see right there, he's from Hamilton, Ohio. He's 6'1", 225 pounds. This dude is a bruiser. He is a big dude. He's a physical presence. Feels like old school Pittsburgh Steelers football. Production score based on his next gen stats. Looking at his combine rankings, again, top 10, pretty good. His athleticism score, because he's a bigger running back, he doesn't have the really cool 40-yard or the 10-yard shell or anything like that. So don't pay too much attention to his athleticism score. If you go to his next chart right here, you look at his numbers, his bio, focus on the 2024 campaign. Second team All-American, Big Ten running back of the year, first team All Big Ten, finalist for the Doak Walker Award for the nation's top running back. If it wasn't for Ashton Jeanty over at Boise State, every single person would be talking about Caleb Johnson as the best running back in the country the entire 2024 season. So the Pittsburgh Steelers got the 1B of the NCAA college football running back world, and they got it in the second half of the third round. Remember, this isn't, 3 years ago, the running back position where people have given up on it and great players fell deep into the second, third, and fourth round all the time. The value of the running back position has shifted. We saw that, of course, with Jeanty earlier. We saw this in previous drafts with guys like Bijan Robinson. People are now more than willing to draft running backs very early, and despite that, the Steelers were patient. We're able to sit and wait and get a really good football player, a heck of a player in Caleb Johnson. And the good news is, with Warren returning, the big weaknesses with Johnson is how can he handle some of those receiving duties, maybe third down duties. Warren can certainly do that in spades. He's proven that with his time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's a great fit based on what the Steelers are looking for as well. I love this pick here by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, incredible value, massive steal. All right, Mize, I'm curious what your thoughts are. But first, Steelers fans, in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers? In fact, grade it in the comment section. Do you love it? Do you think it's a huge steal like we do? Give it an A. Are you kind of wait and see mode? Maybe there's someone else you wanted the Steelers to pick. Give it a C. Or do you maybe just hate it for whatever reason, think it's an F? Give us your thoughts on this Pittsburgh Steelers pick here. Again, second half of the third round. Put it in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you. What are your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers and their draft pick here?
Yeah, Nick, the steal is the word that comes to mind. A guy that's graded, mid 50, 55, or a guy mid second round grade, and they get him at 83. That's a heck of a steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like you said, this is a guy who really the only reason he's not being talked about as one of the best running backs in this draft is just because of the freak of nature that Ashton Jeanty is. And this guy is really good as well. I would say he's a freak of nature as well because you look at what he does. This is a guy who, like you said, 6 foot, 225, big bruiser back. You replace your Najee Harris, and then you have a guy also great at yards after contact with the size, 6th in the country with over 1,060 yards after contact. But also, he's got that explosiveness. He has the ability to break a big play. He was 3rd in the country on carries of 15 plus yards with 28 of those carries last season. The guy's really good. I mean, this is a very impressive running back. I think Steelers fans should love this. Overall, just great grades, 86.7 rushing grade, phenomenal grade for him. Great in the zone scheme, great gap grade as well. He had a great elusiveness rating. Just overall, this guy is really just a fantastic running back for the Steelers. Like you said, the only knock I would say on him is he's not as great as a receiving running back, but still, you got Jaylen Warren. He can be your receiving running back. That's why you bring him back. That's why you gamble, wait for Jaylen Warren, test the market. No one picks him up. You get him back for a bargain. Bring in a guy here like Johnson. A really, really solid pickup here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this guy is going to be very strong in this Steelers offense. And I think we're going to see a lot of good stuff going to Pittsburgh. Everything's looking like it's improving. I think the Steelers are on a good upward trajectory. This offseason's felt a little different than off seasons in the past. And I think this pick, everyone, they want Steelers to go quarterback, but I think when you see this, and if you look at the future of what the next year's draft brings as well, I think if you got a good 1-2 running back combo here, you built up a great offensive line you have now. You have a great receiving core. The defense is always really good. This is a team that looks really good, and they can do a lot of damage no matter who is behind the helm at quarterback. And still, all these quarterbacks are sliding this draft. There is still opportunity for Pittsburgh Steelers to go out and do something and get a great quarterback prospect in the 4th or even the 5th round the way things are going. Who knows where these guys are going to slide to. So I think overall, this is a smart move by the Steelers. Let the board fall to them. Get a guy with a mid-second round grade in the late 3rd round. You really can't turn those kind of moves down. So overall, this is an A+ grade here to me for the Steelers.
Well, especially since he's such a playmaker, sometimes you see good football players that just because they're not very exciting, right? So they don't have the sexy playmaking ability, right? You know, that they're a good player, but they don't have all the crazy stats. Sometimes they fall and you get a lot of value there. It happens all the time, to be totally honest. But Caleb Johnson was not that. Like you mentioned, a lot of explosive plays last season. If you look at his entire production, 1,500 yards plus rushing on only 240 carries. So again, it's not like he ran the ball 35 times a game. 6.4 yards per carry in the Big Ten, playing for Iowa, where he was the offense, right? There was nobody else. This is Iowa. They're known for punting and giving Caleb Johnson the football, and Caleb Johnson still averaged over 6 yards per carry. 21 rushing touchdowns. Again, he is a phenomenal guy. When all the competition was doing watching him was just trying to focus on him because Iowa had nobody else, no passing game, no receiving game whatsoever. Caleb Johnson was what everyone tried to stop, and they couldn't get it done. Decent offensive line in Iowa, but far from the best in the country. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to get a little more physical. We saw that, of course, last draft with Frazier, McCormick, Fatanu up front, really heavy on the O-line. Now they're looking at the running back position. Caleb Johnson, he's a bruiser. He's a physical presence. And by the way, you still see that this offseason before this, trading for a guy like DK Metcalf, right? He's an explosive receiver, but he is a beast. He's a physical dude, physical specimen. It's clear on offense, the Steelers are trying to get bigger, stronger, more physical, more imposing their will on their competition. And Caleb Johnson is the perfect running back to allow them to do just that.